Speaking of economics, you actually support and promote MMT, which is so exciting for us because I never get to interview people who do. Well, I rarely get to interview candidates who do. So, can you just kind of describe how you heard of it and how you began to implement it?
Well, I definitely first heard about it right here through Real Progressives. So thank you to Real Progressives, and especially thank you to Steve Grumbine, for really putting out the message so often and so clear for so many people. Initially I didn't quite understand what he was referring to. But then,
We're all there.
you read into all of these writings and you think about it, you do your own research. It's very clear. The United States Congress has the power of the purse. It's just very clear. There's a lot of government websites you can check. You can track the money. So it's very clear to me that the United States Congress has immense power to essentially control the national budget, our national budgeting priorities. So that's actually a big chunk of the reason why I'm running, because we do need to use the public money, our money, for the public purpose, which is not what the current U.S. Congress is doing, and they haven't been doing it for decades. So we need to rectify that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you explain that to people when you phone bank or you, canvas or something, what are people's reactions? Like, what?
Well, there's a mix of reactions, but yes, I do very prominently, put it out there. I have different versions of flyers, but some of them say right on them, the U.S. Congress can, in fact, afford the people. We do have the money. What we need is political willpower. I like to give out information. They can check. There's links where they can see the budget. They can see the budget been moving through the federal process, after it gets passed. They can see how it's being received by, say, the National Science Foundation, the Department of Defense, and then they can check those numbers up against each other. They can see that first Congress decides on this set of numbers, and then the departments of the executive branch enact it through various ways, and they can see that there's no clear relationship to the IRS. Very important that this link doesn't really quite exist. I try to empower people with that information. A lot of my emails that I send out to the entire district have clear links to, Stephanie Kelton, Bill Mitchell writings. So yes, MMT is certainly very central to our message, and we try to find ways of talking about it. In other countries they do it. Look at England. England has had single payer healthcare, guaranteed healthcare for I think it's like 75 years now or something. So there's all sorts of ways of talking to people about what's possible. So there are, I think, green candidates for Congress that certainly understand this. Kenneth Mejia is certainly one of them who understands that, So it's, I think it's just important that Greens, non-Greens people, talk about the ideas, because, after decades of hearing that we're broke, and it being in the textbooks, and people not really seeing a way out of being broke. And like I said, some people told me, Congress is broke, Congress is broke. They can't spend any money that we don't give them. It's our money that they're spending. So many people are so convinced by that message that, all I can really think about is education. We're just putting ideas out there. People can consume them if they would like to, and hopefully they'll learn something. And I think when you really go after the facts, you can't escape the MMT model. It's just very clear. I just try to give people clear information. That's, I think, really the only way that we can go forward, and giving people more information, historical information, is very important. So that's actually all that my candidacy is about. I'm trying to give people information about economics, about the environment, about education, because what's really important to me is that, you know, obviously I'm giving it my all, so are my team crew members. They're out there knocking, and, you know, people text banking, calling, etc. Obviously, we hope to win the election. It's of course very difficult, but one thing that I really hope for is that, you know, hey, at least we've made a difference as far as education for the future, so that people, so that next time, say there's like a candidate running claiming that we're going broke, that people are armed with information to fight back against that.